watching Just the News. I'm Amata Balachandra. Let's get straight to it. Now, protesting farmers were seen dismantling their settlements and returning to their homes after over a year of agitation against the contentious farm laws. Now, according to an NDTV report, before bidding farewell to a single border, some farmers performed havans and sang kirtans, and some danced to Bhangra songs to mark the day as Vijay Divas. Now, the laws were repealed last month, if you remember, by the parliament. And after the government also conceded to other demands of the farmers, including a panel for legal guarantee on MSP, the Samyukta Kisan Morcha, which is an umbrella body of farmer unions, on Thursday announced the suspension of the protests that have been going on for over a year. This comes after the centre assured to fulfill their promises demanded by the farm unions. Now, Samyukta Kisan Morcha said that it will hold a review meeting as well on the 15th of January. An update now in Nagaland. Several people from Nagaland protested against the AFSPA and demanded an apology from Home Minister Amit Shah. The protesters, who included residents from the village of Oting, the home of 12 of the 14 people who were killed, were led by an apex body of tribes called the Konyak Union, and have demanded the withdrawal of a statement from the parliament's records. Now, the union's vice president has said, and I quote, "We will not rest until justice is delivered to those 14 Konyak youth who were killed," end quote. Now, this comes after over 14 civilians and a soldier were killed in Nagaland's Mon district after a counter-insurgency operation that triggered a clash with furious villagers. Now, in the parliament, Home Minister Shah had said that the vehicle carrying the 6 civilians who were gunned down in an area between Tiru and Oting villages in Nagaland's Mon district on Saturday evening was signaled to stop, but he said it tried to flee. He said the army unit, suspecting insurgents were in the vehicle, then opened fire. An update now on COVID numbers in the country. Delhi has recorded its second case of Omicron COVID variant as a traveler who returned from Zimbabwe has tested positive. Now, the Delhi government said that the person was fully vaccinated and had also traveled to South Africa. With this, India's total tally for Omicron cases has now gone up to 33, with the maximum number of cases being reported from Maharashtra. In the meantime, India has reported 7,992 new COVID cases and 393 deaths in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, Section 144 of CRPC has been imposed in Mumbai for 48 hours on the 11th of December and 12th of December. Now, the orders have been passed to prevent several rallies that were planned and also prevent the spread of COVID. Now, Mumbai has reported 3 cases of Omicron variant, 3 new cases, with Maharashtra's total tally now stands at 70. Meanwhile, an expert panel which reviewed Serum Institute's application for approval of booster dose recommended that the firm submit local clinical trial data and proposal along with justification for the booster dose approval. And this is according to a report by PTI, which is quoted and cited several official sources. Meanwhile, the union government has informed the parliament that the National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization and the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19 are deliberating and considering scientific evidence for the need and justification for a booster dose against COVID-19. Meanwhile, South Africa's health ministry has announced that the country will start booster doses of Pfizer vaccine from next month. Now, this comes after the country reported over 22,000 new COVID cases on Thursday, the highest daily cases reported. According to AFP's report, Dr. Nicholas Chris, Director General at the Health Ministry, told a weekly news conference that booster doses will first be administered to people above the age of 60. Moving on now, the DRDO, which is the Defense Research and Development Organization, on Saturday announced that a series of successful test firing of the extended range Pinaka rocket system was carried out in the last 3 days. Now, the system is designed by DRDO's laboratory ARDE, which is the Armament Research and Development Establishment, along with HEMRL, which is Pune's High Energy Materials Research Laboratory. Now, the system has been designed in the light of emerging requirements with advanced technologies enhancing the reach. Meanwhile, India has now sent its first batch of life-saving medical supplies to Afghanistan after the Taliban took over in August this year. It included 1.6 metric tons of medicines. In a statement, the MEA has said, and I quote, in view of the challenging humanitarian situation in Afghanistan, the government of India has dispatched humanitarian assistance consisting of medical supplies on the return flight today. These medicines will be handed over to the representatives of the WHO in Kabul and will be administered at the Indira Gandhi Children's Hospital, Kabul. Moving on now, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare told the Parliament on Friday that there have been only isolated cases across the country where COVID vaccine certificates were issued to deceased people. Now, in a written reply, Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare has said that the occasional isolated cases were, and I quote, due to inadvertent data entry errors by the vaccinator and updating second dose vaccination data of the beneficiaries, end quote. The minister also went on to say, and I quote, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has advised states and union territories on multiple occasions to ensure correctness of data entry, end quote. And on to business news right now. In a virtual summit with US President Joe Biden, PM Narendra Modi has said that cryptocurrencies should be used to boost democracy, not harm it. According to Reuters, PM Modi said, and I quote, we must jointly shape global norms for emerging technologies like social media and cryptocurrencies so that they are used to empower democracy, not to undermine it, end quote. The center is set to discuss a crypto bill in the upcoming winter parliament session. And news coming in from across the world right now. The governor of the US state of Kentucky has warned that more than 50 people are thought to have been killed by tornadoes overnight. According to a report by the BBC, the governor has dubbed it as the worst tornadoes in the state's history and said that the tally could be over 100. Now, a state of emergency has been declared in Kentucky. And one piece of positive news before we wrap up this bulletin, Indian origin Professor Neeli Bendapudi has been named next president of US Pennsylvania State University. Now, Bendapudi will be the first woman or person of color to be the president of the university. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good weekend.